Hello, my name's Gavin and this is Genre Books, and today's genre is going to be the superhero story, and in particular a look at the 1911 novel The Hampdenshire Wonder by J D Beresford. This book, retitled simply The Wonder for the US market and published there first in 1917, it tells the story of Victor Stott, a young child prodigy who has been born with enhanced cognitive abilities and develops potentially telepathic abilities, and the story is rightly recognised by Brian Stableford in his review of science fiction literature as a direct influence on Olaf Stapledon, and in particular his novel Odd John, which is a book I'll be looking at in another video. Victor Stott is probably in part at least based on Christian Heinrich Heineken, the Infant Scholar of Lübeck, who, if the stories are to be believed, was able to perform similar feats of mental acumen, but unfortunately died at the age of 4. Heineken is mentioned in the text as a possible precursor to Victor Stott. Our narrator is, oddly enough, a cricket correspondent for a newspaper, and it is because of the cricket that we get involved in the story. Victor Stott's father, Ginger, is a cricket whiz and someone who, because of a curtailed career, decides to have a son purely to fulfill his own dreams. But Victor becomes one kind of prodigy instead of the one that his father wanted. The physical description of Victor Stott is striking. He has an enlarged head, leading some to think that he's possibly an idiot, a freak, hydrocephalic. In body, he is being described as weak and barely able to support his head when an infant. It takes some time for Victor's powers or gifts to be recognised by the wider community. But once they do, he is mentored, taken under the wing. You can't really mentor this child, but given some patina of protection by a local worthy by the name of Henry Chalice, who is he's a dilettante with a massive collection of books, which obviously I warmed to him straight away, and with regards to the books, this is one of the ways where Stott's power seems to demonstrate itself. He just rips through first a dictionary, and then the entire Encyclopaedia Britannica, and then the rest of a 50,000 volume library. Sometimes just taking parts of the knowledge, sometimes reading the entire book at incredible rates so that people don't really think he's taking anything in. And Stott does himself no favours in this and throughout the book by almost refusing to engage with any of the adults around him. His answers are terse, monosyllabic, sometimes just a glance. When he speaks at any length, it's in abstraction. It is showing that the knowledge and the superior knowledge which we believe him to actually have obtained is in no way possible to communicate to us via words, which is obviously handy for the author that he doesn't have to come up with an entirely new philosophy. But it is a feature of some of the early superhero, if you want to call it that, books, that reading is actually displayed as a superpower. Victor's inability to communicate the thought processes that he's going through, and the inability of the local community to accommodate or assimilate this different way of thinking, is the real crux of the book. It demonstrates more our limitations and prejudices more than it demonstrates his superiority. And Stott himself for all his accomplishments, is not worldly wise. He's still a child. The one thing that he can't tell them is the one thing that they want to hear. But I don't want to say much more about the book at all. It's my intention here to recommend it rather than spoil it. So I'll just leave you with the recommendation. J D Beresford was born in 1873 and died in 1947. He was the author of over 30 books, of which The Hampdenshire Wonder is only the second, and The Wonder is one of only 3 or 4 books that could be termed science fiction or speculative in his output. Other speculative or science fiction books include Gosling's The World Without Women, the Riddle of the Tower, which was written some 30 years later. Beresford was also the book reviewer for the Manchester Guardian and the author of the first serious study of H.G. Wells's works. It would not have been unknown to Beresford at the time that he was writing The Hampdenshire Wonder. H.G. Wells's father, Joseph, was I won't say a professional cricketer, because it really wasn't a professionally or well-paid role at the time that he was playing, but he was the first cricketer, the first bowler to take 4 wickets in 4 successive deliveries in a first-class cricket match. And if you want a further little literary reference or connection there, the second man of those 4 that he dismissed, Spencer Lee, is the great-nephew of Jane Austen. And if you thought this couldn't be any more of a British-centric video with its cricket, the Manchester Guardian, Jane Austen, baronial houses and Edwardian dilettantes, I'll leave you with one more tiny little literary fact. J D Beresford is the father of Elizabeth Beresford, whose great contribution to literature is the Wombles. So thank you for listening to me ramble on for a few minutes, and thank you to all of you who have been subscribing and commenting on the previous videos. I will see you all again soon. Bye bye.